But now, not just coming back for a singles match, but the match we all want to see from him in what might be like an actual either like proper send-off for McGuinness or maybe the start of like a second career run. This is something incredible.
Next segment, Nigel McGuinness is in the ring and states how there is no AEW title match at Grand Slam because the champion is probably gasping for air like Justin Roberts when he was choked with his own tie. Grand Slam should have the world champion at least compete. And he pulls out a contract and states that all the years he's had to watch Danielson while being an afterthought and all of his success, it should have been his. Danielson is afraid of him, and the one match everyone wants to see, he's afraid of. But Tony Khan isn't afraid. He knows a money match when he sees one. And Danielson, he challenges him for Grand Slam, stating that Oasis will play him to the ring, but Bryan, will you follow with the final countdown? Or have we seen the final match of the American Coward? The ball is in your court. And I guess Bryan used his very limited screen time to text Tony Khan within the next 20 minutes because the graphic came up during the main event that it is confirmed for 2 weeks from tonight, which they did. They are not listing it as a title match. It's just a match with Danielson and Nigel McGuinness. But he has recovered enough, but not recovered enough to defend the title.
So Bryan is confirmed. Like, we're not waiting for the moment that the match starts. Nigel comes out to Oasis, and they're not playing the game of like whether or not Bryan will show up. Is that right?
No, they put the graphic up. Danielson versus Nigel McGuinness, and they stated it's official. And gotcha. I think for this show, you want to make it very clear. Like, they are pushing this Arthur Ashe Stadium show as hard as they can because they need to move a lot of tickets for this show.
Yeah, I would say so too. So let's go back to, what we were discussing earlier and like the logic behind Darby Allin giving up his title shot at Grand Slam for essentially a number one contenders match with Jon Moxley.
He was told you can't wrestle Bryan that night because he's out.
Yeah. Now Bryan is in. So this deserves explanation. How is it that Darby is not automatically granted his title shot?
I would be like, hey, John, sorry. We could have a match Saturday on Collision or something, but I want my title match now that our champion is cleared for this date, obviously. Yeah. I don't know. This was a big hole for me. I know not too many people are going to complain. You're getting two amazing matches, but man, this required something because I just thought this was really a big gaping hole to try and bridge. And
I feel bad about that. I'm even being distracted by this like storyline stuff because we should be celebrating this. This is incredible. Okay. I mean, we had a great, I would say, feel good moment in Nigel returning for the Casino Gauntlet, but now not just coming back for a singles match, but the match we all want to see from him in what might be like an actual either like proper send-off for McGuinness or maybe the start of like a second career run. This is something incredible, for any sort of longtime fan of professional wrestling. The fact that this guy's getting to rewrite, his conclusion to his story and getting it on a big stage like Arthur Ashe against his dream opponent, our dream opponent for him, a career rival. It's amazing. It's amazing. Just a little hiccup in logic. I hope they have a good explanation for next week. And I also hope we get like a great Nigel McGuinness promo next week. This week was good, but in 2 weeks' time, they have a lot of backstory to try to catch people up on. Not everybody watched the last of McGuinness or the WWE documentary and knows exactly kind of what this guy, had to go through as sort of like a parallel to Bryan Danielson's career. So they better have a hell of a video package next week. And I hope they do their work in telling the story.
It's one of those where you just wish there was a week or two extra because you couldn't have Danielson on last week on this one coming out of the attack on Saturday. And you almost would have wanted that extra week where Danielson can accept the challenge and you get that you could still do the face-to-face next week, but that requires Danielson being back next week and you got to push this. And then boom, you're here in 2 weeks. Like this tonight, you really needed Danielson in some form or fashion, but you couldn't. You needed to sell this injury. But with Darby and with Nigel, like Bryan being in between there, I think you could have made a bit better sense of it. Mm-hmm. At the end of the day, tonight was about putting a card together to move tickets. And if they move tickets for Arthur Ashe Stadium, then kind of all of this is out the window, because that is the goal of this is we need a hot card, because we have they are well under 5,000 tickets. Like, I think they'll get to 5 regardless, but 5 is not anything to celebrate when a size of that venue and what you've done there before. You want to move thousands of tickets to just be in the neighborhood of what you did last year, much less 2 years ago.
And obviously, because the title's not on the line, this is not a career-threatening match.
I guess not. Yes.
No.
So
he could lose. Nigel could.
I guess so. Yeah. I guess that's possible. It sets up a rematch then.
So something to clarify, at least on the official graphic here, there's an asterisk to the graphic that says if Bryan is cleared to wrestle. Okay. So at this point, we don't know if
that was not included, I believe, on the broadcast when they put this graphic up. But
somebody in the chat room saying they mentioned it on commentary. So I mean, I don't know. It's a small detail.
Well, Nigel's promo certainly was set that up, but
So at this point, Bryan is not cleared to wrestle. We don't know if we're going to get this match yet, but obviously they're doing everything they can to tell you, to tease you that, hey, if you buy tickets, you're very likely to see this match. But in storyline, Bryan is not cleared to wrestle. Therefore, I guess it makes sense that Darby would need an opponent, and Darby versus Mox can proceed. And then I guess
this is way more complicated than it needs to be.
They are going to probably do the whole teasing, either up until the moment that Nigel comes out, or maybe I think they probably have to maybe spell it out by next week, that much clearer, If you like this video, consider joining our Patreon, the Post Wrestling Cafe. Multiple bonus podcasts every week, ad-free shows, and access to our full archive. Otherwise, a like and subscribe is much appreciated. Thank you for watching.